By this point, I had already completed the most disciplined morning I've had in a long time. I woke up early, meditated, ate healthy, and finished 2 hours of deep work without distractions. And honestly, I was starting to feel like this experiment might actually improve my life. But then I realized something. So far, I had only controlled my routine. The easy part. The real challenge was about to begin. Because now, I was going to control my decisions. Not just what I do, but how I live. And that's where things started getting uncomfortable. I went back to ChatGPT and gave it a new instruction. Continue guiding my day. Decide how I should spend the next few hours, including my actions, interactions, and choices. The response came in quickly. Take a short break. Go outside for a walk. Avoid using your phone. Observe your surroundings. Now, this didn't sound too difficult. But the moment I stepped outside without my phone, it felt strange. Almost unnatural. We're so used to constantly checking notifications, scrolling, consuming content, that just walking without a device felt empty. At least at first. But after a few minutes, something changed. I started noticing things I usually ignore. The sound of traffic. People passing by. Small details around me. And for the first time that day, I felt present. Not distracted. Not rushed. Just aware. And it made me realize how much of life we miss because we're always looking at a screen. I didn't just remove my phone. It forced me to reconnect with reality. But just when I started getting comfortable, the next instruction came in. Reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Start a meaningful conversation. Now this was different. This wasn't a task. This was personal. I hesitated. Because we all have people we think about reaching out to, but we never do. Maybe it feels awkward. Maybe we overthink. Maybe we just delay it. And now, AI was forcing me to act. So I picked someone. A friend I hadn't talked to in months. I opened the chat, stared at the screen, and paused. What do I even say? This is where most people stop. But I reminded myself. No cheating. So I sent a simple message. Hey, it's been a while. How have you been? And waited. That moment felt longer than it should. But then, a reply came. And surprisingly, the conversation flowed naturally. We talked. We laughed. And it didn't feel awkward at all. In fact, it felt good. Really good. And that's when it hit me. AI didn't just make me productive. It made me take actions I was avoiding. Things I knew I should do, but never did. That one message created a moment that I would have otherwise missed. Now the experiment was getting deeper. This wasn't about routine anymore. This was about behavior. About choices. About pushing beyond comfort. And honestly, it was starting to feel a little strange. Because I wasn't fully in control anymore. Then came the next instruction. Work on something creative for 1 hour. No perfection. Just create. Now this was interesting. Because usually, when I try to create something, I overthink it. I try to make it perfect. And that slows everything down. But this time, I followed AI's rule. No perfection. Just creation. And for 1 hour, I worked freely. No pressure. no judgment. And the result? I created something faster than usual. Not perfect, but done. And that's powerful. Because perfection often kills progress. And AI just removed that barrier. At this point, I started noticing a pattern. Every instruction AI gave me was something I already knew was good for me, but I wasn't doing. AI wasn't giving me new knowledge. It was forcing execution. And that's the real difference. But then, things took a slightly uncomfortable turn. It was time for lunch. And AI had a clear instruction. Eat a balanced, healthy meal. Avoid processed food. Now this might sound simple. But in real life, this is where discipline breaks. Because convenience is always easier. I thought about ordering food. Something quick. Something tasty. But AI had already decided. So I prepared a simple, healthy meal. And while eating, I realized something. Most of our bad habits aren't because we don't know better. They exist because we choose comfort over discipline. And AI removes that choice. Which is both powerful and slightly scary. Because if something else is deciding for you, where does your freedom go? And that thought kept coming back. Throughout the day, AI was improving my actions. But at the same time, it was reducing my decision-making. Now here's where things got really interesting. The next instruction said, avoid all unnecessary phone usage for the next 2 hours. Now this felt extreme. No scrolling. No checking notifications. Nothing. Just silence. And that's when reality hit hard. We are addicted. Not physically, but mentally. Within minutes, I felt the urge to check my phone. Again and again. And stopping that urge was not easy. But I followed through. And after some time, the urge started fading. And something unexpected happened. My mind became clearer. Less noise. Less distraction. More focus. And I started thinking more deeply. About my goals. About my habits. About this experiment. AI didn't just remove my phone. It removed the constant stimulation. And that created space. Space to think. Space to reflect. And that's something we rarely experience today. Now the day was moving forward. And I had followed every instruction so far. Discipline was high. Focus was high. Awareness was high. But one question was getting stronger. Am I becoming better, or am I becoming dependent? Because if I stop this experiment tomorrow, will I go back to my old habits? Or has something actually changed? And that's the real test. Because improvement is easy when someone is guiding you. But real growth happens when you guide yourself. And right now, I wasn't guiding myself. AI was. And that's where the conflict begins. Because control feels good when it improves your life. But it also feels uncomfortable when it takes away your freedom. Now as the day moves toward evening, things are about to get even more interesting. Because AI is going to start controlling more personal decisions. Decisions that involve emotions, comfort, and choices that are not easy to follow. And honestly, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Because so far, AI has challenged my habits. But next, it's going to challenge me. And that's where everything could change.